I love it. All right, Sandy Blue Eyes, a man among men. Well, listen, we got a little change in the action tonight. I was going to interview my crew, but since my man Frank Morano, our city councilman, he started off here with me at CTV back in the day. He's happened to visit the show and to see the send-off of my last show. And he's going to interview us. How about that? Councilman Frank Morano.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes.
It's great to be here. Really exciting to be here at the end of one era and the beginning of another. You know what a fan I am of Up Late with Johnny Potenza and all the incarnations that you've had, first at CTV and then at community media over the years. And I have to tell you, it's always been a treat to be on this show. It's been a treat to get to know you. But what you've done over the last quarter century on Staten Island has been a real public service. And you've really served as, I think a lot of people know your history. A lot of the great talent that's come in here.
Thank you.
A lot of people that used to be stars, a lot of people that became stars after you gave them their first exposure. What I don't know that you've ever gotten your just due for, and I'm glad you mentioned Carol Ann Benanti before because she covered this in her column when she did this article about you in your last show, is what an incredible unifying force you've been for Staten Island and providing a real sense of community. And I'm really appreciative that you'd have me here. And that's why we have this proclamation for you from the New York City Council. This is
I'm going to cry.
That is signed by all three council members from Staten Island, myself, Councilmember Carr, and Councilmember Hanks. And that is the first proclamation that the three of us have ever given together.
Thank you.
We all represent different parts of the island. We have different ages, political parties, race, ethnicity, gender. The one thing we can all agree on is that you've been an incredibly positive influence for Staten Island, and this show has been a real Staten Island treasure. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Go figure. The biggest ball buster on Staten Island. And I gave my parents a run for the money, but God kept me here for a reason. You know, a lot of my friends and people were growing up that I grew up, what we went through back in the partying days and growing up, didn't make it. But God kept me here for some reason. I don't know what it is. I still believe I didn't get to where I really need to go yet, but with all I'm blessed just to have the friends and the family that are in my life, and I love yous all. And you know what? The people that didn't believe over here, that always gave me a hard time, you know what I really want to say, but I'm not. But this just goes to show you, all right?
So, Johnny, I know we want to look forward, and you have a couple of great folks that are part of the new podcast, which I want to talk to you about in a second.
Best.
But the last moment of looking backwards, last quarter century of being here on CTV and community media, what are you going to miss the most? What did you have the most fun doing over the last couple of decades doing this show and the other shows that you've been doing?
I don't know. I'm a little older now, but it was always great meeting celebrities and hanging out with, you know, I don't know. It was always just great because, as I said back in the day, I used like to party a little, you know, too much. But like once you straighten out and you do your thing and you know how to control yourself with the drinking or whatever, you need something to keep you busy. It's like the devil's mind with the, what's that old saying?
Idle hands of the devil's
playground. Idle hands of the devil workshop. So community television was like a second place for me to be that.
What you've done with this show, and the way you treat people and the way you seem genuinely curious and interested in what they have to say, and the way you treat people with respect, whether they're stars like Joe Franklin or Vinnie Pastore, or people that I've never heard of except for the fact that they were on your show. I think it says a lot about you, and it's one of the reasons that that show has resonated so much, not only with Staten Islanders, but people in a lot of other markets as well. Now, unlike another Johnny who retired from a late night show 33 years ago, and everyone would wonder, what's he going to do next? What's he going to do next? We know exactly what you're going to do next. You've now launched the Breakin Ballz podcast. I was on one episode, and the preview of that episode resulted in people threatening to sue me. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. The most amiable fellow there is. I was the nicest guy in radio. Now I'm the nicest guy in politics. I go on his show once, and people are literally threatening to sue me. Tell me how different the world of podcasting is from the world of late night television and doing the kind of variety show that you've been doing.
I love doing this, and I wish I could get paid to do this and have a union staff and have writers. I was the whole machine of this whole thing, so Carney almost gave me a nervous breakdown the last couple of years. Honestly, if you wanted me to be serious, I had to step away from it, or my health was getting jeopardized. It wasn't fun no more. I was getting pushed and pushed, and I'm a neighborhood family guy, and I'm a street guy. You could only push me so far, so I had to back away from this, and it was messing up with my character, and people were noticing it in me. Now that I stepped away from it, I've been coming back to life, and then Frank was always a big you're always a big inspiration to me. You're always a good friend, and you're a good guy to hang out with. You're a good influence on me, and I can say that. And then I met, and then Lou Martini, and then Concetta. They came into my life with the podcast. And it's a whole new energy. I'm having fun. My heart feels good again. But me and Lou, when I got approached from Tony Hansen at Phoenix Studios if I wanted to do this podcast, I thought about it. I really wanted to do the late night show, and I said I couldn't do it by myself. I need another guy that's going to be totally opposite.
You got a great team around you. Let's say hello to them first. Let's welcome Concetta Rose Rella, who is not only a terrific actress, but a writer, somebody that's been a teacher of acting and a lot of other things. And she has something in common with Lou Martini, because Lou Martini was on a show that dealt with rats. And Concetta, my first exposure to you was when you got a lot of attention and a lot of acclaim for doing a stage show called Rats in the City. I guess that's about 16 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
Right? How do you... What? Yes, that was, we did that at...
You can't pull nothing
That's
over
why
him.
he's a city councilman.
Well,
are you kidding me? Right?
That's why it was on the radio for a while.
That is nuts. That is such a small, it was a teeny tiny project in a very small, teeny tiny theater, and I can't believe, that is amazing. You're awesome.
So you've done stage, you've done a lot of short films, right?
Yeah.
You've done a lot of teaching. What do you prefer in terms of acting? What's your preferred media?
Oh, well, I was... right, podcast. I was in a very amazing, long-standing show along with my friend Lou here and some of our audience members called Tony and Tina's Wedding.
Yeah.
And it's largely...
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's largely largely improv. So my preferred acting method resides along improv.
So now you're doing this show. You're on there with Johnny and with Lou and a rotating other cast of characters, which we'll talk about in a second. There's a lot of testosterone in that studio,
Sure is.
right?
Oh, forget about it.
Again, this segment couldn't start soon enough because Johnny was inquiring about your toenail color in a manner that was maybe a little too inquisitive, right? How do you stay sane dealing with all that testosterone in the podcast studio?
Okay, well, I grew up with brothers, big, stinky brothers, and one of them's here, Richie Rella. And it's just, I grew up with boys. I don't know what else to say.
And that's perfect. It's great.
So I know how to ignore them really well.
So it sounds like you guys are all having a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
So far, you guys are in the midst of filming, because it's both visual and audio, the podcast.
Yes,
By the way, how do people see the podcast? How do they hear it if they want to hear it?
Lou? What do you want me to tell you?
Anybody know? No?
Johnny is asking me to speak. I can't believe it. Usually the other way around. All platforms, Frank.
So just type Breakin Ballz with a Z?
Yes, it's with a Z. It's with a Z.
And then it comes up on the YouTube, Spotify, whatever.
Well, this is the whole ball of wax. It's at Breakin Ballz podcast or hashtag Breakin Ballz with Johnny P. Or you could just go to Breakin Ballz, the podcast.
I think in the future, if people ask you how you hear it, you need an easier answer. I
Wow.
think, personally.
What do you want me to
but
say? What should I
there
say?
you go. Concetta, you guys are in the midst of filming season 2 now.
Yes.
The episodes haven't posted yet.
No.
What have you been excited about? What can people look forward to in season 2?
Great number of guests coming on, a lot of fun people. I don't want to say anybody's name because I'm going to leave somebody out and I don't.
Yes.
But really what season 2 is about is, I'm new to these guys, so it's really, we're comfortable now.
Yes.
And it's more about getting comfortable with each other.
Yeah, you can tell you guys have a great
loosening
chemistry.
up a little bit, and it's that. It's just been so much fun to come in and play.
Let me bring in Lou Martini Jr., who is someone that I've been lucky enough to interview on the radio before, someone that I've had the privilege of getting to know primarily through Johnny, and someone who I've been a fan of for many years from his work on The Sopranos, The Godfather, Blue Bloods, Law & Order, you name it. If there's an acclaimed network television show, chances are Lou Martini's been on it.
Man.
Lou, it's a very different skill set, being able to talk, being able to interview, being able to, speak off the cuff, as opposed to reading words that somebody else has written for you. We've seen some of the best actors in the world. Robert De Niro comes to mind. He doesn't really do talk shows like this because this is not his kind of a format. How have you found making that transition from being an actor to being a podcast host or co-host?
One of the things that we discussed when John approached me with this idea to do this show is we didn't want to be like every other podcast. Me and John have been friends for a long, long time. And a lot of times we'll just be shooting the shit, as they say, and breaking balls, on politics or entertainment or,
the bar,
whatever. We're just breaking balls, and I'm saying, you know what, John? He's a funny, natural guy. So
usually unintentional.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the studio audience knows we've had a 5-minute intuition as opposed to intermission. You guys caught that, right? We took a 5-minute intuition. But I said, John, I said, John, if you're just yourself, and you allow me to bounce off you, and we just shoot the stuff, what's going on that week in entertainment and politics, I think it'll be fun. And I says, we need a pretty face because me and John are nothing to look at.
Yes.
Right? I mean, so that's where we had some auditions.
A lot of auditions.
We had a lot of. We saw a lot of gals, young gals, and then she came recommended to us also from someone.
Yes.
And she came in the first night, and she was a natural fit. And then we invited our dear friend Gary Pastore to come along that does some of the shows with us.
Yeah.
So again, it's basically, it's not work. Like when I go to work on a set, I'm prepared for the role I'm playing. I'm prepared with the lines I have to learn. When we go to do the podcast, it's like, what are we going to talk about tonight? Okay, well, this guy did this, and this guy did this, and this guy did that, and then let's roll.
If someone's watching this program now and they've known Johnny over the years from his television work, and they're thinking of tuning in, they're looking for something to listen to on the ride to work or wherever else, because there's not as many good radio shows as there used to be, especially not late at night.
Yes.
But how would you describe the podcast to someone? Why should they listen to it? What are they going to hear?
Because I think we talk about things everybody else is talking about. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to politics, a lot of people say avoid politics. We don't try to talk politics, but if it comes up, we don't shy away from it.
And we'll keep it on a down low. But I believe, because me and Lou started it, and then we knew we needed a woman. I wanted added an intelligent woman.
They couldn't find that, so instead they settled for me.
An intelligent, funny, charming lady. And you fell right into our lap. So when we talked, I was like, you know what? We're going to bring you on as a guest from Tony and Tina's wedding, and that'll be your audition. And then once she left, me and Lou were just like, I'm going to ask her to be on the show, and that was it. But she's so much fun because she's a yin and yang, and me and Louie are so different, opposite. Like
completely
night and day, like heat miser and freeze miser. That's me and Louie.
All right. If we go much longer, they're going to suspend Johnny on his last show, which is the last thing we want. Lou, somebody told me that you once got the key to the city of Steubenville, Ohio. Stop. How did you manage that? Is that true?
No shit. Yeah, he went back to.
Are you guys familiar with Steubenville, Ohio?
That's Dean Martin.
Do you have any Dean Martin fans out there? Yeah. Okay. Dean Martin's hometown is Steubenville, Ohio, and every year they have the Dean Martin Festival, which I have been emceeing now for the last 19 years.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, I was privileged to, I guess because we do a lot of charity work, we raise a lot of money for the Dean Martin Association and some music funds. And I was able to get the key to the city, which I thought was very, very
Absolutely.
nice. So
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Concetta, I appreciate the fact that you could live anywhere and work anywhere, but you choose to stay here on Staten Island. And as somebody that wants to get more people staying on Staten Island, we're very excited for that. If you could describe the podcast in one word, what would it be?
One word? I can't have two?
You can have two. We'll give you an extra one.
Controlled chaos.
I love it. All right, love it. I love it. Johnny, it sounds like, we'll give you the last word since it's your show, but it sounds like if people are fans of this show, they'll be a natural fit for being listeners of the podcast as well.
You know what it is, and I can say now, the hardest thing with the podcast, if you're not well known, like if you get a guy like Joe Rogan, he's already known. They're already going to get a load of followers, but we're still building followers. It's going to take a while, and we're still developing ourselves. And I believe by the time we get all those big followers, the show will be primed like nobody's business. We're old school with all our 4 personalities. We've all been artists and actors, and we've been grinding for most of our life. So that's our story, and we're old school. We got old school values, and we want to be like an influence to the younger generation and have them come to us because we're the OGs of this.
No doubt.
So,
well, Johnny, thank you for letting me be a part of your last show. This has been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed being on the podcast as well. I love listening to it.
And I love you like a brother. You know that.
Likewise. And I'm looking forward to season 2 being posted. And I'm also looking forward to the exciting conclusion of this program where you get to hear your exclusive interview with the Gabby Chingwa Band next. They were phenomenal.
Got it. Excellent.
I was absolutely blown away. I could see what all the fuss is about in Jersey and everywhere else they perform.
Jersey,
they were great. So,
Jersey has a great rock scene, Frank.
We're not out of time yet on Up Late with Johnny Potenza. Coming up in a moment, you'll hear Johnny Potenza and the Gabby Chingwa Band. Don't touch that dial.